Welcome to US Insider, where we give confirmed stories about American news. But before I break today's news to you, if you haven't subscribed, please take a minute of your precious time to subscribe. Let's now dive into the video.
The latest, trusted and reliable information. Trump is in profound legal trouble. Before I continue, if you are new to my channel, I encourage you to click the subscription button and turn on the notification bell so that you will always be the first to get the latest information. Democratic strategist James Carville said Donald Trump's legal troubles would help boost Democrats to a midterm election win. The twice-impeached one-term president is facing numerous lawsuits and criminal investigations, and the Senate Judiciary Committee revealed new evidence of wrongdoing in its investigation of his efforts to overturn his election loss, and Carville told MSNBC's 11th Hour that things were looking good for Democrats. "We are ready to have an explosive economic recovery here," Carville said. "The COVID numbers are starting to look pretty good. And if the Democrats and Trump's in legal, kid yourself, he is in profound legal trouble. If the Democrats show some motion and momentum here, they're not doomed to have a bad 2022, but they got to get in with what could be a very positive turn here in the United States. Very possible, not saying it will happen, but none of these things are far-fetched at all." Former President Donald Trump took a ghoulish victory lap with a statement pointing out that total reported deaths from COVID-19 in 2021 surpassed the total reported in 2020. In a format usually reserved for endorsements by Iowa newspapers or influential editorial boards, Trump issued an semi-statement Thursday on a weightier topic: the horrific death toll from the pandemic that dominated most of his final year in office. COVID-19 deaths in 2021 surpass entirety of 2020. As of Wednesday, U.S. localities have reported 353,000 deaths since January 1, according to data compiled by Johns Hopkins University. That surpasses the 352,000 deaths reported in 2020 in the 10 months following the first recorded domestic outbreaks of the disease in March. Forbes, October 6, 2021. The statement quoted a Forbes article and also contained a fundraising plea. Since the very beginning of the pandemic, Trump took a ghoulish scorekeeping approach to the human misery that was most starkly illustrated during a March 2020 visit to the CDC, at which he said of a cruise ship that carried infected people, "I like the numbers being where they are. I don't need to have the numbers double because of one ship." Trump's eagerness to celebrate the milestone belies the fact that he was, in fact, in office for 20 days this year, during which over 80,000 Americans died, with tens of thousands more dying in the weeks following from infections they contracted before Trump left office, following Trump's refusal to facilitate an orderly transition to President Joe Biden's administration, against which Trump fomented a violent insurrection, and with the current Delta surge being fueled overwhelmingly by Trump supporters who were even more resistant to taking a COVID vaccine while Trump was president than they are now. A new report from the Senate Judiciary Committee adds striking new detail to Donald Trump's readily apparent plot to get the Justice Department to help him overturn the 2020 election. The revelations include that a top ally in the Dodge, Jeffrey Clark, appeared to threaten and bargain with top Dodge officials to get them to release a letter legitimizing Trump's baseless voter fraud claims, and that Trump specifically lamented to then-acting Attorney General Jeffrey Rosen that Rosen would not help him overturn the election. Facing this increasing damning evidence of a plot to subvert democracy, Republicans have landed on a familiar defense, most notably made in the Ukraine impeachment debate last year: "Yeah, but Trump didn't actually follow through." There are several major problems with this defense. Senator Charles E. Grassley of Iowa, the Judiciary Committee's ranking Republican, made this the centerpiece of the minority's response to the available evidence shows that President Trump did what we'd expect a president to do on an issue of this importance. He listened to his senior advisors and followed their advice and recommendations, Grassley said. Grassley's report highlights the facts that Trump not only didn't ultimately fire Rosen and replace him with the loyalist Clark, as had been threatened, but that he also opted against releasing the letter Clark had drafted about supposed evidence of fraud in Georgia. This defense harks back to what Republicans said about Trump's actions vis-a-vis Ukraine in his first impeachment, that yes, he moved to withhold aid from Ukraine, but that it was not connected to trying to gain dirt on his political opponents and that he ultimately relented. That's pretty much what happened here, with a few key differences. But it's worth reinforcing that, as with Ukraine, it wasn't because Trump had some attack of conscience. It's because the plot fell apart. Former acting Deputy Attorney General Richard Don.
That's all from my side, so what is your say in this matter? Tell us in the comment below and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.